We're live. Welcome everyone. Okay, well, hold on. Three. Let's you ready? We're ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 190 of the Security Podcast on the In30 Network. My name is Chaim Cohen, and I'm here with Tom. And I guess our topic this week are just generic internet scams that we've seen. I mean, we've had a lot pop up in the last few weeks, whether they're robocalls or IRS tax collection notices, or the one I wanted to talk about, the Facebook thing. But just what to do and how to deal with them. And we're basically going to give you the same advice that we tell everybody. They're scams. That's why they're scams. They're designed to cause fear, and you want to believe them, but you need to obviously do your research and go from there. I just want to start off with something fun. So a certain very famous rapper who likes to wear Make America Great Again hats, I don't want to say his name, has a passcode. He's married to Kim Kardashian. So I don't want to give him some SEO juice. Showed the world his password today, his passcode, and it was 000000. Is that secure enough?
At least it's not 4 characters. All right, let's just point that out. Let's get that out of the way. It's not just a straight up 4 characters.
So that's what people were saying. So we always talk about 2-factor, multi-factor, get off SMS 2-factor. But you know what? Here's somebody he put that's 6 zeros, but it's something because you still have to guess it. And I mean, maybe that's now one of the top 10 passcodes, but you still have only 10 shots to guess it. And you know what? It's better than nothing.
And like, if somebody's going to run up to this person and steal their phone, right? He's got people with him. He's not like roaming around alone in a place where he's going to get robbed. So, it's not as bad as it could be, I guess.
I mean, and we don't know if this is his primary phone, secondary phone. From what I hear on Twitter is a lot of these celebrities with like hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of followers, have secondary Twitter accounts. They probably have secondary phones for certain things. This is like my public phone, and just in case, they have like a work phone for themselves. So who knows? The better question is, why didn't he have Face ID?
Right, like you'd think that he'd pick the laziest, easiest option of looking at his phone, but I don't know. Maybe he doesn't trust Face ID.
So anyway, if you want to join in on the conversation, I've started a new hashtag. It's called #NobodyCares. So anytime someone posts some security news, feel free to hashtag it #NobodyCares, because literally nobody cares.
If you are listening to this podcast, you can stop caring now.
So that's the first one. The second thing is, let's go to the big story with let's do Google Plus first. We'll go to Facebook at the end. So Google Plus had a breach, I guess, last week, and they used that decidedly to close down the Google Plus service, which comes as a shock to no one that it's not really being used. The issue here that we want to talk about is that Google had a breach where it disclosed a whole bunch of people's data, almost like the way that Facebook did through third-party like scraping tools. But the fact that they hid it, they didn't have to disclose it, but they said that they did in good nature, gets me a little creeped out. And I think it's Tom a lot more creeped out than me.
So we've typically praised Google on this show, right? When it comes to their leadership in the security community with things like Project Zero and their backing of U2F and other awesome hardcore 2-factor authentication standards. Google has done a lot of good for the security community. We like to hold them up as a shining example of what to do whenever there's a problem with themselves or other companies, as they so often like to point out. They are very quick to point it out, very quick to let users know, and very quick to fix the issue. And that did not happen here. So I'm going to be reading a bunch of quotes from a TechCrunch article we will throw in the show notes. Apparently, a security bug allowed third-party developers' applications to access a bunch of Google Plus user profile data since 2015. Google discovered and patched this March. So yeah, that's about 3 years, and decided not to inform anyone. It let these developers pull the user profiles and their friends' non-public profile fields. Full names, email addresses, birth dates, gender, profile photos, places lived, occupation, relationship status. Google says that they have no evidence that the data was misused. But the fact that this security hole has been open since 2015, they just shut it. And instead of telling people about it, they decided to close Google+. It leaves me a bit angry. This is absolutely a black stone on their reputation, and we should hold them accountable. I would say that we should all close our Google Plus accounts, but most of us didn't have a choice in opening them anyway. If you used Gmail, you were consistently badgered about opening one. If you used YouTube, you had no choice but to open a Google Plus account. Google took this social network, shoved it down everyone's throats, had a massive security vulnerability, and then just decided to shut it and not tell anyone about it. The only reason we know, just to make, clear the air, this is not a crazy conspiracy theory. The company, and I'm reading a quote here, the company decided against informing the public because, and I quote, us coming into the spotlight alongside or even instead of Facebook, despite having stayed under the radar throughout the Cambridge Analytica scandal. That quote just totally ended. According to an internal memo from Google. So yeah, they knew about this. They shuttered Google Plus instead of letting people know because they didn't want to get caught up in the social media hate down that went on through the Cambridge Analytica scandal. This is shady and evil. Thanks, Google.
We've always said that the reason Google is not going to sell our data the wrong way or be creepy is because their entire business is based on search. And if they lose that public trust in whatever way, they're losing money. They're losing the only thing that makes them money. So
Google also, just to rub a little bit of salt in the wound, Google also said that they don't really care about shutting down Google Plus for consumers. They're going to try to turn it into an enterprise product for whatever reason, maybe because they're bored. But they admitted that over 90% of their user sessions lasted less than 5 seconds, meaning somebody accidentally opened Google Plus and then closed it.
They wanted to get rid of the badge count at the top. So they just went through the badges and ignored or accepted all these friend requests and moved on from there.
Yep.
And I will say, look, I have an Android phone, that Google Plus was good because if you filled out the profile picture when you called me or I had contact info, the photo will show up. So that was a net positive.
It irks me that we were strong-armed into getting this, yet another social network by Google that some people liked. I actually did like Google Plus, but we were strong-armed into getting this thing. It wasn't kept up well. It was built in a hurry. It wasn't actually all that functional, really, ever. Then it gets a security breach, and instead of coming clean, Google decides to hide behind Facebook, who's getting blasted by the public, for the exact same type of breach.
I mean, Google has a lot. I don't know who has more information. At least with me, I know that Google has a lot more information than Facebook does. But I don't know. I feel like overall, Google is trying, like you said in the beginning, they're trying to do the right thing. And then this comes up versus Facebook that just says, let's see what sticks. So
this is the kind of scandal that they used to rock, internet companies when this sort of thing happened to Yahoo and it became clear that, oh yeah, by the way, we've been hacked for a very long time, right? People left their jobs. People resigned over decisions to hide stuff from the public, right? I'm kind of miffed about this, and I understand that a lot of the security people at Google want to do the right thing, but if the head of the company, if your company is going to hide security mistakes and do things that are absolutely wrong that are wrong, take a walk.
Look, I mean, what's his face? Alex Stamos from Yahoo and then Facebook did exactly that. He saw that issues were cropping up, and he left. And I guess we commend him for it, but it's almost it's strange that he leaves and then all these things come out. But this is Google. It's hopefully they'll look at this. I hope that there's some backlash. I mean, I really hope that there's a little more backlash on, oh, no one really used Google Plus. There was really not that much data there, and they just move on. I hope that there's something, but do you think any other than the real security people, do you think there's going to be any backlash? Probably not.
I imagine even internal to the company that this was, I don't have any inside information, just to be clear, but I'm sure internal to the company, there must have been some kind of backlash. I'm sure this was not a popular decision. Why it got this far? I'm glad it leaked, right? I'm glad this internal memo got out. But, why it had to take this long is still pretty baffling to me. The internet and the security community at large has looked at Google as, yes, they're snarfing up all of our information, but when it comes to protecting users and their user data, we generally held them in high regard. This is the exact opposite of this. This is what breaks trust in Google. And if you don't have trust in Google, you're not going to use their products. I'm moving off of Android. I'm going to an iPhone, not because of this, just due to a lot of things that Google's been doing. And I'm actively looking to replace Google services at this point in time. There's no sense in misplacing my trust any further.
I mean, we talked about this before the show. Is Pixel 3 comes out, what do I think about it? And I have a Pixel 2 XL. I like it. I think it's a great phone, but I'm not saying that I'm going to stick with Google or move to iOS, but if it's the same price and has the same features, what am I getting? I should move. I have a Mac for everything else. Maybe I should move. And I think Apple and Google are playing this game of how do we keep the customers, and Google is not being focused on privacy. It just sounds like they're, like you said, they're strong arming others, but Apple's really the one there trying to be as private as they can. So
I would like to see Apple or even other companies come up with their own Project Zero. Google doesn't have to be the only company with a very large public-facing group of elite hackers trying to make the world a better place, right? Other giant companies can set these up too and make a big public show about it. I think it's great. I think the work that the Project Zero team does is extremely valuable. I think that we're all safer because of them. And they should absolutely keep doing that. I think others should join in.
Well, hopefully we get more news on this in the next coming weeks. Unfortunately, I don't think we will. I think this is just going to be shoved under with all the political news and everything else going on. Which, by the way, for the people suffering from the hurricane, I feel really bad. But the last 2 days, no political news. There was nothing. It was great. We just got to see Anderson Cooper.
If there's a silver lining anywhere, it's right there.
I mean, people lost their lives, lost their houses, lost a lot of other stuff, but there was no politics. Everyone agreed hurricane equals bad, loss of life equals bad. Let's protect people and not talk politics. So I was actually happy.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a political movement that argues that hurricanes are good and that we need more of them and bigger hurricanes. Just to
longer. We need them to last like 3 weeks in the water so we
longer, more intense hurricanes.
Like we need some cold fronts that will make it weaker and then strengthen again.
I'm going to politicize natural disasters.
So I mean, again, not to promote loss of life or anything like that, but it was good to not have to read about politics. Then we talked about this at the end of last week. Facebook had 50 million plus another potential 40 million account data breach. It was based on the view as feature on Facebook. Now, Tom doesn't have Facebook, so I think he knows what I'm talking about though.
Yep.
You can view as a different profile, which we found out is a really hard thing to do, how to set it up to view as another, but it's really necessary, especially if you're trying to create this private, you wanted a private group and a public facing thing to have it. But in that implementation, you can scrape tokens of cookie tokens, and you can see other people's profiles. And what we found out is that these 50 million were almost targeted at some way, because you couldn't just say, give me everybody's. You had to know what to look for. And so there was that hack. Facebook did the right thing, I guess. They quickly reset everyone's token. They made everyone log into all their different things. So I had a whole bunch of passwords I had to type in. And they said, you don't need to change your password, just re-log in. I think that was the wrong move. I think they should have forced everyone to redo their password, because then all of a sudden this weekend, this Facebook scam came up that said, I'm getting a lot of friend requests from you. Is this you? And the answer is no. It's either somebody posing as you, or it's just a message. Turns out it was just a message. People were just literally sending messages that said, by the way, there's an impersonator. Forward this to all your friends so they know not to add you. And it was just a scam. Now, I don't know why they were doing it, but they were doing it.
Yeah, you do get additional access to data when you add someone as a friend on Facebook, right? You can see way more of their profile. Some profiles you can't see anything about unless you're friends with them. So it might have been a data gathering exercise. That's usually not how Facebook scams work, though. Usually it's, download a fake Flash plugin to, oh, you have to watch this video, and you go to the site and it goes, oh no, you don't have Flash. By the way, you always have Flash. Especially if you're in Chrome, it's built in. Don't download Flash. As a matter of fact, even if you don't have Flash, you're better off without it. Don't download Flash. But it would take you to a fake Flash player. You would install it, give it admin access, and then it'd just wreck your life. But this, as far as scams go, it's even hard to call this one, because is it malicious? We don't know. It doesn't appear to be malicious. Are they trying to gather data? Maybe. We can't definitively say.
If they're impersonating you, so this is not anything. I mean, this is not. So you can take my photo of me holding the cupcake, put my name there, and open a fake Facebook account with my name slightly changed or even the same with a different email address. There are other Haim Cohens in the world, and you can friend all my friends, and then you can spam them, I guess. But that's happened to my friends over the years. But we're not talking like hundreds. We're talking 5, 6, 7 over the years. So what I tell people to do is, if this happens, reply to the person and say, did you just send this? I showed Tom the message before, and it wasn't written. Nobody tells you how to tech support in a scam. Basically, it said, oh, hold your finger over the message, hold it down, and then hit forward. But you're going to have to forward to each person individually. So it's going to take a few minutes. And you're like, no, what? People don't talk like that.
Yeah, this is just weird. And the fact that this is repeating and going around is even weirder. I would expect, something like, hey, check out this funny video and forward it to all your friends, and, click this button and give me full access to your profile, or paste in this JavaScript in your browser's console. Even
getting rickrolled. I mean, that would have been funnier, but this is just a message that says this is there. And then people would post this on Facebook, and you would get hundreds of these posts. Like, it ruined my weekend, because every other post was, I've been hacked. I've been hacked. I don't think you've been hacked. I think you just followed bad advice. And
just because you get a weird message on Facebook does not mean you've been hacked.
And taking into that, then my wife finally got the IRS scam. Have you gotten the IRS scam yet? I
have not gotten the IRS scam.
You get a call from the IRS, or a scam call from a fake IRS person that says, hey, we have 3 warrants. She has 3 warrants out for her arrest. If you don't pay us your back taxes, we have 3 warrant. The police are going to come and arrest you. That's not how that works. It's scary, but that's not how that works. You would get letters, and the IRS will show up to your door.
Yeah, exactly. So if the IRS ever wants to contact you, they're never going to email you. They're not going to call you. They're not going to send you a Facebook message. Please, if somebody claims to be from the IRS on Facebook, just ignore them, block them, report them for fraud. Like, they are absolutely not the government. If you ever stumble upon a website that says your computer is locked by the FBI, you have to, send 20 iTunes gift cards to this random address. Like, okay, look, the FBI does not get paid in iTunes gift cards. Okay. They don't get paid that well. if the IRS or any other government agency wants to contact you, they're doing so through the US postal system or through officers showing up at your front door, right? They're not going to give you a web page. They're not going to hack your Wi-Fi. They're definitely not going to send you a Facebook message. Totally ignore that. Report that stuff as fraud or spamming or harassment.
And if somebody does show up to their door and they show you an FBI badge, you can also call the police. I mean, they'll get into a jurisdictional conflict, but if they're really the FBI, the police will let them go.
If you are ever concerned about the validity of a police officer, an investigator, a detective, you can call the police on those people. It's actually not very well known. Most people don't take advantage of this, but you can call the cops on the cops and make sure that they're actually legit. There are very few, don't get paranoid about this, but there have been a few cases about people impersonating police officers and pulling people over to, rob them from their car, impersonating, a cop. You can, refuse to pull over, put on your hazards, drive slow, show that you are actually, submitting to the will of the suspected officer behind you, right? Don't go nuts and start a high-speed chase. And then you can call 911 and have them verify that, yes, that is a cop pulling you over. Yes, it's not somebody trying to pull one over on you, right? I don't suggest doing this for everything. Just if you feel, get a weird feeling, if you're in a weird part of town, if the cop car doesn't look quite right, if it totally looks like somebody trying to pass themselves off as a cop, you can call 911 or emergency services and verify that, they're actually legit. You were going too fast.
The other one is the people coming to your door, soliciting stuff, whether they be religious or not. I know my town has a license ordinance. They need to, what's it called? They need to show ID before they can sell you something. So if you get to the door, this is why I got a doorbell, a video doorbell. I see a solicitor now. I just don't even open it. But I feel like I'm going to start saying, if I have some time, please put your ID to the camera so I can verify it. If not, I'm going to call the police so they can help facilitate getting you an ID. So
that works.
I live on a corner and I get a lot of solicitors for whatever reason. But the other one, there's another one. I get a lot of, we're going to give you free and low cost healthcare, but
not in this country.
No. And then I say, I really want free and low cost healthcare. And then they hang up on me. So look, when you get these things, I would always say, okay, what's your name and what company do you work for? And then I would search the company's main switchboard and ask for them. I'll call you right back in 5 minutes. That's usually what I do. Yeah. If once I pick up the phone and I think it sounds legit, it sounds like the IRS or it sounds like something. Okay, give me your name, give me your extension. I will find your phone number and call you back. And if they start, no, it's never going to happen, this and that, then you know it's scam and you don't have to do it. Yeah. The PBA, the Police Benevolence Association, they do not call. The friends of the PBA call. And I've always told them, I'm sorry, I do not give the friends money. I will walk down to the police department and donate. I do not give the friends, because whose friend are you? I don't know who you are. So
if you get a robocall asking for your social security number or bank details, by the way, these are scams. And by the way, they do work. Just hang up on the robot. Reporting phone numbers is really difficult because it's so easy to spoof numbers. I don't even answer numbers if they have, the area code and the first 3 digits of, my phone number. Don't even answer them. Guaranteed scam every single time. Unless you absolutely have that phone number in your address book, I usually don't answer it.
Well, you're saying something that's a little different. You use a Google Voice number as I do.
Yeah.
But I have a POTS line. I have an old-fashioned copper line to my house that I think only the pizza place knows that number. And so, like you said, if it's the area code and the first 3 digits are the same, I know it's a scam because no one
we never use that number.
We never use that number. So this is another reason to have a Google Voice or a secondary phone number to do exactly that. Give everyone your Google Voice number, and then all the scams go to the house line or to the other number. But
yeah,
it's I'm just afraid. So what they're doing is they're spoofing the phone number. So you get that and you say, hey, this is a scam, and you block the number. If enough people do it, your number, my number could potentially be blocked.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I don't ever use that number. So yeah,
well, I'm afraid with my Google Voice number that's going to happen. But but nobody's answering phones anymore. I mean, I work with people who actually do use the phone, but if your phone icon is on your first home screen in the dock, you're probably doing it wrong. It probably doesn't need to be there. Like, just saying.
It doesn't. Mine, it's still there, but you're exactly right. I never make a phone call.
I mean, I make a lot of phone calls, but that's a
like
different
I
story.
will go to Google Maps. Like if I want to reach like the local pizza place, I'll go to Google Maps and I will find them and click the little phone icon, but I never actually launch the phone.
I'm even worse than that. If I get the phone number, so Google hides the phone number. So when you say local pizza place, they don't give you the phone number; they give you a call icon. So I have to call, quickly get my old copper cordless. I get my cordless phone out, dial the number, and then hang up on my cell phone because it's just so. I need that old Bluetooth like big phone. That's what I want.
You do. You really with the big rotary dial. Yeah.
Well, no, I don't want that. That I wish on no one. But back in our day, our area code ended with a 0. So you had to wait for the whole thing to go back around.
A lot of credit card fraud companies will actually robocall you. One of my financial institutions actually does this, and I actually do recommend. I have used the robot before because the robot for mine, luckily, doesn't ask for any real identifying information. It just has you press 1 for yes, this was you. Press 2 for oh no, somebody swiped my credit card, which is pretty good, right? It doesn't identify anything about me other than I probably did go to Starbucks, and I probably did spend way too much at that computer hardware store. But if your financial institution asks you for the last 4 of your credit card or the last 4 of your social security number or even like your zip code, you can hang up on them, grab that card, and call the free toll-free number on the back to actually go through the human fraud department. Yes, you do have to talk to a person, but it is safer, right? It's not a random robot from a random number that you're giving personal information to or even financial information to. You can be guaranteed it came from your bank because it's printed on the back of your card. Unless somebody was really, really good at scamming you and played the long game by saying, I'm going to copy this card exactly, but change the 1-800 number on the back. Those are the long cons.
I will say that customer service, at least in America, has gotten way better. And I think it's because nobody's using the phone. They're using the online chat, which I never found to be good at all. So when I call people, I always prefer to call. I'm in less than 5 minutes, and I'm talking to someone who is slightly smarter than they used to be. So if you haven't called customer service in a while, you'd be surprised.
Most customer service has callbacks. I actually had to call to reschedule an appointment, and it said, hey, there's like 6 other callers on this line. It's going to be like 30 minutes on average. Press 1 so we can call you back, and we'll just hang up. It was great, and I got a phone call, and I was connected right to the person. No hold music, no weird, your call is important to us. Well, clearly not, because if it was important, you'd hire enough people to take my phone call. It's great. The chat, depending on the company, I've been hit or miss with.
I can't do it, and people said, and I said, why wouldn't you just call them? It'll take 5 minutes. And they said, no, I'm at work. I can't be on the phone like that, which I understand, but for me, I'd rather than just go home and deal with it. But anyway, we are running out of time. And look, the whole overarching story here is there are a lot of scams. They are getting a lot better. So before you get scared, before you decide that this is legit versus not legit, just nobody's going to go after you right this second. Hang up, take a deep breath, Think about it. I would call the organization back using their publicly found phone number, and then go from there. I bet you if you do that to the fake IRS, and you say, I'll call you right back on your real phone number, it'll be much more helpful. So,
and if you tell the fake IRS scammer, oh, hang on, I'm going to hang up and call you back at your official number that's on irs.gov, they will freak out and tell you no, you will be instantly arrested if you hang up. I would hang up at that point.
So again, it's think about it. Always, if you're unsure, call the police. You'd be surprised. Call dispatch. Don't call 911. Call dispatch.
Yeah.
Tell them you got this. They may send you running around like this is not us or whatever, but at least
the cops have a non-emergency line. They are trained. They deal in this stuff all the time. They can point you in the right direction. That's what they're there for.
So with that said, we urge you to join our WhatsApp group. We talk about this all the time. We post a lot of links. Again, just find us on Twitter, on wherever. You can find me on. You're not going to find me on Facebook that much, but you find me, whatever. We'll throw you in, and we'll have fun from there. Anyway, everyone, have a good day.
Have a good one.
Bye. And